Alright, folks, it's been a little while since I've done one of these videos. I know lately there's been just random stuff on the channel, both during my streams and during the usual daily exclusive videos. The reason for that is we're still in the pandemic. We're starting to kind of try to get out of it, but a lot of these developers are making the right call, and they're not trying to give release dates that they can't really uphold. We've seen a lot of almost every major AAA game has been delayed at some point. I'm honestly shocked Resident Evil 8 is actually going to be keeping its release date. I thought that one was a really obvious delay, but a lot of things have very vague release dates right now. So as a content creator, it's made it kind of hard. However, as you guys know, I've been doing more retro, boomer millennial game content. I think people seem to actually like that for some reason. I don't really think a lot of my user base was around for those games. They may not appreciate them, but it's been fun. That was one of the reasons why I got the phone. I had some personal reasons for getting the new phone. Mostly the fact that the battery on my old one would die in like an hour. It was very unreliable. It was very unsafe to get around with it. But the bonus of basically having to get a new phone for my personal safety, especially during lockdown and everything, is that it can run pretty much everything up to Dolphin or the Wii pretty well. So I've got a lot of boomer games on there to play. But I wanted to talk about some of the actual releases that I'll be covering. A lot of this stuff does not have release dates, but I think some of them are going to be coming out pretty soon. I've been following this game for a while, but they keep pushing back the release date. I guess they're trying to make sure that it's going to be a pretty solid game. I mean, it seems like the kind of game I would like, a beat 'em up roguelike. I did play the demo. It felt a little rough, but it was kind of hard to judge it off that because it was a very early build. Uh, they're not doing early access for this, as far as I know. I think it's just going to be a one and done kind of thing, and maybe they'll tweak things according to feedback. But they're not doing early access for this, so what you see is what you get here. It looks pretty cool. I like the art style. Kind of looks like a more high end Saturday morning cartoon, which is pretty cool. This is actually also going to be a roguelike as well, so definitely will scratch my itch for that kind of content. I haven't had a good roguelike to sink my teeth into for a while, so I'm looking forward to this. I think it was supposed to come out in March, but I think then they pushed it back to April, and now I have no idea when it's coming out. But I'll probably get a key for that one. If not, I'll just go ahead and cough up the money for that one. This does not have a release date either. This got pushed back to this year, like I think mid late last year. I'm really looking forward to this game. Obviously, I loved Strider as a kid. I think Strider 2 is a pretty good game, but it's definitely has the trappings of being an arcade game. It's short and it's too easy if you credit feed. The only way to get any challenge out of that game is to one CC it, and a lot of people don't have that mentality, understandably. This looks pretty solid. Looks like it's got more in-depth melee combat. It's also going to have good platforming too. I'm not going to focus on that one on this video that much because it has no release date. Most likely that will probably come out by the fall or like maybe early winter. Helvetia is a game I've been following for a while. This was successfully funded on Kickstarter, I think like 2 years ago. This is supposed to be coming out this year too. This is another roguelike character action game. I'm not going to be spending too much time on stuff that has no release date. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to be a content creator right now because just a lot of games either don't have release dates or they did and then they got pushed back to vague periods of time, like the second quarter or third quarter or just 2021 in general. So I can't really buy these games in advance. I can't really say when I'm playing them. So we're just gonna focus on the stuff that's gonna be coming out soon at least. Metallic Child, I'm pretty interested in. This game looks pretty cool. This is done by the people who did Smashing the Battle, which I hear was not a very good beat 'em up. This one looks like it's going to be way better mechanically. This is coming out in the second quarter, so that means within like the next 2-3 months. Well, they've been updating every week about things that are going to be changing, or like the mechanics and stuff. Guess they're talking about currency. Standard stuff here. You can use it to heal, and you can get like weapons, and there's going to be Steam sales and stuff. That's one I'm looking into for sure. In terms of what else is in here, there was like a rights dispute with this. I don't know when the expansion for this is supposed to come out. There was a lot of drama with this game's development that finally got resolved recently, so the expansion for this is going to be coming out soon. Oops. Battle Axe actually comes out next week. I'm going to be doing this game. This is going to be out on the 20. It's either the 23rd or the 29th. I'm not sure which one it is because um, the Switch store says the 29th for this game, but the Steam store says the 23rd. So I'm just going to assume I'm doing this game next week. This game looks really awesome. Beautiful pixel art. Nice arcade gameplay, for old folks like me. Actually looks really solid. I'm probably going to play as the thief because the thief is melee. Very beautiful looking game. It's actually done by a legendary pixel artist. He did a lot of pixel art for a lot of games in the past. A lot of Amiga stuff as well. Amiga games aren't really known for their gameplay and game design, but they had some really awesome pixel art, and this guy was behind some of them as far as I know. You can tell it looks a cut above better than a lot of other pixel art indie games. There's not really a lot of gameplay about this yet, but it seems like something I'm really going to enjoy. Arcade, Infinite, and New Game Plus modes. Yeah, that sounds like my jam for sure. This I wanted to look into as well. I haven't gotten around to buying it yet, but I need to finish Natsuki Chronicles first before I go into another shmup. But this looks like something I'd really enjoy too. This game is already out. But then some people are saying that game's kind of divisive, so I haven't really wanted to drop 20 bucks on it. It's definitely very hard to make a good shmup. It's very easy to make a bad one. Very much like how beat 'em ups are. If you're not aware, Jitsu Squad got funded. They made like several times more than what they were asking. I'm not sure if they were underselling themselves or not, but they met a lot of goals, including like tag mode. There's going to be extra moves in this game. Um, this boss character here is going to be playable. I did have some problems with this game. There was an excessive amount of hit stop, and there weren't really that many moves. It wasn't really that interesting to play. It was really great to look at, but it just didn't really have a whole lot going on. They said that they've already made some improvements in that regard. There's supposed to be a beta test for um, people who funded it. I didn't have the money to fund the game at the time, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get into the beta somehow or something. We'll see. Definitely very excited for this. This is one of many high quality beat 'em ups coming out soon. And then finally, we've got the Ninja Turtles beat 'em up, which I was kind of divisive towards because Tribute Games, they make a lot of really great retro games, but I feel like they don't really push the envelope that much. They're very simple games. They feel like they're back in like the Nintendo era and stuff. They had like great music and pixel art and stuff, but mechanically they just weren't very interesting. You definitely had to be an old fart like me to enjoy them. The recent trailer they uploaded for this shows some pretty awesome stuff. They show like a lot of juggles and dash cancels and parries and wall bounces and stuff. It actually looks way better than it does in this trailer. This trailer has the problem of a lot of modern video game marketing where, this cutscene is really cool. It's very well animated, very clean art style, good animation and stuff, but they're not showing the actual game, and that's kind of the problem here. So let me go ahead and pull up that trailer really quick. Just give me a second here. Let's pull that up really quick. So they've got the trailer here. Let's go ahead and play this from the beginning. Beautiful pixel art. See, he does a parry into a wall bounce there. Got dash capsules, universal reading. They had a lot of concerns that this game was just going to be punch and jump like a lot of modern beat-em-ups are, but it seems like they're actually trying to push the envelope here, which is something they didn't really do with a lot of their other games. We all know the original Ninja Turtles beat-em-ups were not very good. When you go back and play those games, you realize how rough and clunky they were. Mostly just... They were designed to munch quarters. They weren't really designed to be played skillfully. You had stuff like random hit stun, random throws, and it just wasn't really, it wasn't satisfying to play. It seems like they're actually going to be making it into a legit good beat-em-up. So that's supposed to be out sometime this year. Again, a very vague release date. Which is fine, don't get me wrong. I don't want them to rush the game and have like a bad reception. But like I said, as a content creator, it's really hard to plan stuff right now because there's not really a lot of concrete release dates for everything. R-Type Final 2 comes out in about 2 weeks. I was thinking of getting this. I did play R-Type quite a bit as a kid. I did play the one on Game Boy Color. I played some of the arcade ones too. I didn't really play the original R-Type Final. R-Type Final actually was like the last R-Type game for like 10 years or so. They did R-Type Dimensions, which was like a port, but basically, for all intents and purposes, it was the final R-Type game. So now they've got a kind of Final Fantasy thing going on, where it's the second final game. $40 for this. I don't know how many copies they're really going to sell at $40. People don't really tend to play shmups for that long. It's a really hard genre to get people into. R-Type games are definitely more slower paced than a lot of the shmups that come out now that are mostly Danmaku and either arcade ports or they're arcade inspired. I'm not sure how much I would like this really. I'm kind of on the fence about buying it. I need to check out the demo a little bit before. I can't really confirm that I'll get that. We'll have to see. Battle Axe, as you can see here, is coming out on the 29th, so I don't know which version is coming out first. I'll have to contact them on Twitter. But I definitely will be getting this game for sure. This is going to be the next thing I'm doing. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I like old-timey arcade games with badass pixel art music, so this is totally my kind of thing. This is the kind of stuff I grew up on. I definitely grew up on beat-em-ups too, of course, but I played a lot of pretty much all the classics from the 80s and 90s. I was born at a time, the mid to late 80s, where I got to experience a lot of the best games that we still draw a lot of inspiration from to this day. So I don't know if this is going to be a real guide type game. It might just be something I play casually. I might try to do like some 1cc attempts or something, depending on how long it is. They're marketing it as an arcade game, so I assume that it's not going to be really long. You never really know with whenever they tout something as an arcade game, then that can mean anything. There's a very broad definition for that. It can mean like, the gameplay is like the arcade, but it has like, a modern game length, like, like a Call of Duty campaign, like 6 to 8 hours. Good example would be like Castle Crashers. Castle Crashers is a relatively recent game, in the past 15 years or so, and that game has arcade gameplay, but it's like really too long to finish in one setting for most people. I hope that this game will be easily digestible and it'll be more like Fight and Rage or Streets of Rage 4, where you can beat it in about an hour, and there's lots of other stuff to do. They're already talking about New Game Plus and Infinite Mode and stuff, so we'll see what happens there. Anyway, that's basically it. Everything else has a very vague release date, so I don't want to get people's hopes up. I showed a lot of the other stuff I will be playing this year, but a lot of those things we don't know when they're coming out. So basically, it's going to be Toonche, Battle Axe, and then maybe R-Type Final 2. There's going to be some other stuff happening too as well. The Streets of Rage 4 DLC will be out at some point. There's going to be Battle for the Grid characters next month, in about a month and a half actually. They're going to have Ryu and Chun-Li in there, so I'll be coming back to that. I did sign up for their content creator program. I don't know if I got in. I know some people got in. I don't know if they're doing it in waves or what. If I did, That would be pretty awesome. I definitely have put up a lot of videos for that game. I would hope that I'm worthy, but in that case, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year, barring stuff like Samurai Warriors 5. That's an obvious one, but that's still like 4 months away. There's also the Ninja Gaiden collection. I probably will try to get this on PC. I'm not really that big a fan of Ninja Gaiden. I definitely prefer like DMC and Assault Spy and other more responsive character action games. I never really liked how in the Ninja Gaiden games you're always stuck in animations, and that like indirectly makes a lot of the moves like not very useful except for isolated situations. I'm sure people are gonna mod that like crazy. Apparently, the Switch port does run at 60 FPS. I'll probably ask for a review key for PC, and then maybe I'll buy the Switch version for my own personal use. The only one I really finished was 2. I did get to like halfway through 3, but Ninja Gaiden 3 was kind of just a lost cause. They made too many stupid mistakes when they made the vanilla version, and then when they came back and did Razor's Edge, it was just kind of polishing a turd, so to speak. I know they tried to fix what they could, but there were a lot of problems with the game's foundation that didn't really allow them to do as much as they'd like. I'm kind of surprised they're not doing more polish like that, but I'm sure with cheat engine and mods and stuff, and people have been looking for a way to play these games outside of having an Xbox for a long time. So I'm sure that there will be a modding community. It's not going to be on a very easily exploitable engine like Unreal Engine or RE Engine. So I wouldn't get your hopes up too much with the mods for this. There's probably going to be some pretty rudimentary stuff. Maybe of some passionate DMC modders who also like Ninja Gaiden. It definitely seems to be more crossover with Ninja Gaiden and DMC than other action game series like Neo and the From Software games. Most people who play Neo don't like the Souls games because they're much slower and they're a lot less mechanically deep, and then vice versa. The From Software people don't really like playing Neo because it's a lot more involved. There's mechanics bloat in that game. There's so much stuff to learn compared to like a Souls game where you can just roll and attack. And there's a refined taste for both of those kinds of games. There do seem to be people that do play both Ninja Gaiden and DMC, so maybe we'll get some luck and some modders will look at this game. I think one of the coolest things to do would be to make it so that the Cicada Surge in Ninja Gaiden 3 was like a free action, and then maybe in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 they can make it so every weapon could Heavenly Justice. I think that would probably be pretty easy to do. I think that could probably be done with Cheat Engine. But yeah, that's the majority of what I'm going to be doing. There's not really a whole lot else going on right now. If you look here, there's a bunch of stuff about DMC Pinnacle of Combat. Looks like they're gearing up to, they're talking a lot about things they're going to be doing for the next I think it's going to be the open beta, so this is the one that's going to have the progression saving and stuff like that. They're talking a lot about reducing the paid content. My issue with this game right now is, as a foreigner, I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to use the cash shop. I haven't been able to get a response from everybody. Obviously, this is a Chinese game, so Twitter is banned over there. I don't really have access to a way to talk to them. I hope that I will be able to use the cash shop. I don't really want to play free to play. As you guys already know, I play a lot of foreign games. I play a lot of service games and stuff, and I always cash on them when I can. I don't like just not doing that. So I hope I'm not going to be greatly limited, but it seems like they're going to be making the game more free to play friendly. I don't know how many of you guys actually played the game. It's not easy to sign up for, obviously, but basically, to get a new move in the game, you needed red orbs, which had a lot more use than in the actual DMC games. DMC 5 made a pretty good effort of trying to make the orbs a permanent resource, because Nero had the magazines, so if you're not playing with the arm switcher mod or anything like that, then you would always have to buy those. And then there was also the Faust hat that would let you cast the meteors and stuff. In this game, you use it for buying pretty much almost everything. So the issue was that you also needed books. You needed these books to buy the moves as well, and the books were heavily time gated. They were very hard to get, and they were obviously strong arming you to spend money. But as a foreigner, I couldn't spend money, so I wasn't able to get as much stuff as I'd like. It seems like they're going to be working on the the paid content quite a bit. Let's go ahead and look at this really quick. Let's go ahead and translate this. Okay, so Cliff Notes, you're going to be able to get some skins for free. Oh, they're removing stats from the skins too. I actually wasn't aware that it had that. Obviously, as a free player, I didn't buy any of the costumes, but I guess they had stats on there, kind of like how DFO and Closers, a lot of those other service games do. Looks like they removed that. So the prices on a lot of things have lowered. Seems like they're trying to make the game more skill based. I think this is already way more skill based than the average, action service game because it has the DMC foundation. So you're not really designed to tank stuff. You actually do have to dodge attacks and stuff. Main problem was mostly that the enemies had way too much health. I feel like they need to balance that aspect of the game a bit more. I definitely felt like if I didn't grind, some enemies took like way too long to kill, and it just felt very repetitive. Because of the fact that it's not like a tab target MMO, or it's not something like DFO has become, where it's all about doing the damage cap and stuff. Like it still worked. It just felt like the pacing of the game really felt off unless you did a bunch of grinding. I'm hoping that they revise that as well. They're talking about pop-up windows for stuff. I guess they're going to be removing those. Magic pattern system and refinement functions in the weapon system will be deleted. Huh. Oh yeah, you can see here that they got rid of it. Seems like they're like basically removing any power creep, which is kind of crazy because that's like the easiest way to get people to spend money on these games. Like number one easiest way to get people to drop cash on games like this is just making it so you can buy power or you have like busted characters or something. They're not really going to have that luxury because they don't have that many active combatants. They have talked about how they want to add like Lucia and Nero and V and other stuff like that, and they have their original demon hunters in the game too. So that's pretty damn awesome. Seems like this beta is going to be pretty good overall. Let's go ahead and check out the other one, and then I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Actually, this is pretty much the same thing. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sign off there. Apparently, they have a pre-test. I might try to get into that, actually. I'll have to talk to Arcane, see if I can do that. But yeah, that's my general plan for the next few months. I know I've been kind of... The channel has not had much direction lately, and it's not really... It doesn't have anything to do with like my mental health and stuff. Obviously, the past week, a lot of stuff has happened that has really drained my morale, but you guys really helped me out, so I appreciate that. It's just that, we're still kind of adapting to game development during a pandemic, and I feel like indie game developers definitely have it a little bit easier than AAA right now because most indie games are developed remotely at home anyway. The person doing the pixel art can be like in Germany, and then the person doing the music can be in like Texas, and then the programmer can be in like Japan or whatever. I think they're having a lot of an easier time in the pandemic than AAA stuff. We all know Avengers has been a mess. They haven't really done a whole lot to improve that game very much, and a lot of that is because trying to make a AAA game from home it's obviously a nightmare. You don't really have to be in the game industry to realize the logistic nightmare that is. I'm sure a lot of the games I'm interested in that I mentioned here will probably have concrete release dates, most likely by the summer or early fall, but that's basically the gist of what I'm going to be doing. I don't know when the test for this is going to be. I assume it's, considering they're doing these weekly things, I assume it's going to be in like maybe May or June or something. When that does happen, I'll be doing a hell of a lot of videos for this. As you guys can probably already know, I've definitely had some pretty bad withdrawal symptoms from not having access to this game. I really liked it. Seems like these guys are doing all the right things. I just hope that A, they make a global version, and B, that as a foreigner, I can actually access the cash shop. But all of that's like it's up in arms right now. We don't know what's going to happen. So I hope that pleases you guys. There's going to be some stuff happening this month, and then throughout the next few months, there's going to be a lot of niche arcadey, actiony kind of games coming out soon. Thanks for watching.